So I had to go to the summer coaching school, and I would go into these meetings with all these legendary coaches. They'd give you a little black book to write notes in, and I'd be the only woman sitting in that whole.
Which is great. I mean, that's
and I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And I just had, when I graduated from college, I had boxes full of these black notebooks. The first game that we ever won at Hudson, first game, we played this team that I had listened to the coach, and I went through my boxes, got that little black book from his lecture, and I got it out to see what kind of defenses
he was going to run.
His tendencies, you know.
Scouted him up.
Scouted the tendencies. And so I really, for the first time, felt like I had a handle on a team that I was going to play since my first time through this conference and what we were doing. And I'll be darned if we didn't beat him. And it was the best, you know, you always remember that first time.
Yeah.
And the first one. Anyway, 100 wins later, I get my 100th win. He's down in Florida somewhere, this legendary coach. He hears about it. He sends to me his congratulatory letter along with the box score, the official score sheet
Of the first one.
of that game.
No way.
He had kept it all those years.
That's so awesome.
His name was Bo Brenham,
That's
and
great.
he was a legendary basketball coach.
What advice would you wish you would have had, someone would have told you when you were their age, when you were just starting? What would you like, man, if someone would have told me this could have...
Well, I just think, you know, get in there, take any position you can, learn as much as you can on the job, and then when it's time to sell yourself, to give them your strengths, what you want to do with the program, make it about the kids, not about you, but make it about them and where you want to take them, and doing it the right way. I always think that's important. Making them better people. You're right. Somebody over here said, you know, when they get out, when they're done, when all this is over, when you're not going to play basketball forever. You have to be a citizen of the world. You have to be a citizen of your community. You have to be a good person to be around. Nobody has the possibility to make that kind of person. Set goals, work hard with others than we do.
Yeah.
You don't do it in any other classroom but sports. And that's what you need to make people understand how important it is to the lives of those kids.
All right, last question. Best advice high school coach ever gave you?
Coach DeYoung, his big thing was always precious presence. Yeah. He actually had cancer during my career there, so he really had a good outlook on life by the time I was there. I didn't think he always did, but definitely a special outlook that not everybody has. And so that was always first, and he always drilled that into our heads every time. You know, he was just as competitive as any of us, but he knew the bigger picture and really challenged us to take every moment. And that's what I would tell kids nowadays. I mean, especially nowadays, there's so much going on in social media, recruiting. It's all for show almost. And he really protected you from any of that. Did not let me get a big head, or he made sure of that. So I'm really appreciative of that, especially in that time where it was starting to become something.
Yeah, I mean, I had the gift of playing for my mom, but she was always pushing us to not afraid to be first, because we were in a program that had never done something at any high level of statewide appearance. That was not us. You didn't think Marion, and you didn't think success. So just pushing us to not be afraid to be the change makers, and always having that, like, don't be fearful, like, be fearless, like, get out there and do it. It doesn't matter if we mess up. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. You're going to grow from it. And having that jump first, think later mentality really helped us. And I think it's something that if I'm a little hesitant, I'm like, okay, no, we're just going to jump. We're going to jump in head first, and we're going to figure out how to work through it as we go. I think that's a huge piece that she instilled in us.
I think maybe it was more of what they did rather than said. Like I said, when I was the only female in that room, you don't have a lot of people you can talk to. I had my coach from high school and his friends, and luckily they took me under their wing. And so at those meetings, they let me come with them to dinners and let me get to know them. And so there came a time when I could talk with them. I could sit down on the couch and say, I'll give you one of my out-of-bounds drills if you'll let me know this.
Love it.
And we could exchange things. When I got my 2 6-footers and that's I
It's a
wanted
big
to
deal.
I wanted to know Bud Legs, double post offense.
Yep.
So I had to give Bud Legs something back.
Yep. That's great.
In order to get that.
Yeah.
What do you got for me?
And I knew that. So I think it was just them showing me that it's all right for me to be the sister in their brotherhood.
Yep.
And then, thank God, when I got out of coaching, there were a lot more women involved. Not maybe as many head coaches as there should be,
Yep.
but more than there was. So